that was awesome. Wait, what did I do? Tell me that doesn't sound like you. You hit a great shot, and the first thing you do is go, wait, what did I do? How did that go where it went? We all struggle with this. We're going to put this one to bed. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. So in order for you to know what you did, you have to have facial recognition. I know. What is facial recognition? You got to know what this thing is doing. Not what this thing is doing, what this thing is doing. So when you look at a shot and you go, hey, what did that do? Now you know what it did. So let me give you an example. Now you can go back to that one shot. So you step up to hit a shot. You look at your target and you go, and you hit the golf ball. It starts down the left-hand side. It fades back to the right, and you go, okay, what did I do? Well, you can reasonably assume then, if the ball curves to the right, that the face of the club was open. And because it started to the left, and this is all right here in this information. So come on up here to the front. Horizontal launch is, where did it start? It started left. That's what that L is. 2 degrees. I almost don't even care about the 2 degrees. It started left. And then what was the side spin? It spun to the right. So I started it left and it spun to the right. So that's a good shot because I want to hit a fade. And I got to start it to the left so it can fade to the right. And then I can chase that ball very easily. So what did I do? So when you understand what happened with the face, then you understand what happened with your shot. Okay? So curve is all face. It's all face. And that's why I tell everybody, when you are hitting a shot on the range, watch the ball completely because it's telling you what's going on. Facial recognition, that's all we want to have. So stand here and hit this shot. This time it starts to the left, but it curves to the left. And when it starts left and it curves left, that tells you your club face is closed. Now you got to get control over the club face, okay? So what I want you to do, and this is a really important thing to remember, experiment. Gibbsy, give me a down the line shot here for a second. If I take the club face and I open up the club face like this, and I just chip it, that ball is going to start to the right, and it's going to curve to the right. Now come on up here to the front, just so that you can see what happened. I hit that ball 10 yards and rolled out to 25. That was the shot I just hit. It started 12 degrees to the right, and then it spun with 553 RPMs to the right, which means my club face was open. Now, clearly, if I'm standing here, and I set the club face in that position, down the line there again, Gibbsy, if I set it with the club face like that, it is reasonable that the ball is going to go over to the right-hand side or to the push side over there like that. So how do I prevent that from happening? I have to do one of two things. I either have to pull across to the left, at which point it's not going to start left, it's still going to start to the right. So the path on that particular shot, let's come on up here because this is important. So that path was 11 degrees from out to in, but it didn't start 11 degrees to the right. It started 1.2 degrees to the right, which means it went left, the path, but the ball started right. Why? Because the face was so open. Even though it was a pull path, the face was so open it started to the right. And now we look at all these other things. Well, what was the side spin? 1985. That was the year I graduated from college. It spun that much to the right. Backspin was about 3,900. That's more backspin is going to tell you your club face is a little bit more open or it's traveling really fast. Okay? So you're paying attention to all this stuff, but you got to watch the curve of the shot. Club face to the right, the ball will go to the right. That's the way it is. Club face to the left, it's going to go to the left. And so what you have to do is go, okay, that club face is open. I pulled the path to the left, it started to the right. So what's the other way that I can get this thing to the left? I got to spin the shaft. So if I take the shaft and I spin it like this, I'm just twisting the shaft like that, the club face closes. Extremely difficult to control that when it's moving fast. So now I come in like this. So I set the club face open like that. And now I'm going to take it and I'm going to shut the face. And on that particular time, I hit it thin on the bottom of the club. It started left and it spun a little bit to the left. Not a lot, only 119 RPMs of left spin. But I spun that thing as hard as I could to the left. Do you want to play golf like that? No, I don't want you to play golf like that. When you're thinking about release, I don't want you to spin shafts. That is not a release to me. That's a spin. A release is you have an angle in your wrist and you let go of that angle in the wrist. And it pulls out this way. It doesn't pull out and spin over. It doesn't do that. So if I'm hitting the ball to the right, I don't care right or left-handed. If I'm spinning, if I'm hitting this thing to the right or left-handed, and it's starting to the right or left-handed, your club face is over there. And now what I want you to do is I want you to experiment, well, how can I get the club face to the left so it doesn't start to the right? Well, you start with how you hold the club. So now I'm going to, if your ball is starting to the right and you don't want it to start to the right, move your hands on your grip to the right. We've talked about this before. So now I move my hands on the grip to the right, and now I go like this. And now all of a sudden it starts to the left. Now, did it start to the left the way I wanted? No, but it started to the left, which I was trying to get rid of right. So I got rid of right, and I got left because I rotated my hands. What I don't want you to do is feel like when you're swinging through that you've got to spin your forearm, spin the shaft to control the face. You're never going to be able to play good golf like that, okay? So you got to experiment, and it's a really important thing for you to do. Experiment. Take the club, hold it like this, set it in like this, and hit it. That went to the left. Okay, now, how can I take that and not let it go to the left? How can I take this closed face of mine and not let it go to the left? Well, I've got to somehow keep it open. So we get in here like this, and now I pull across it, and I make sure that, and this is something that Paul Azinger said, and this he got from John Redmond, keep the knuckles of the lead hand up. When your knuckles of your lead hand go up, you open up the club face. Can you play golf like that? Absolutely. Is that the way you want to play golf? I don't know. It's up to you. But my point is that when you start to understand how to take a closed face and open it up, that is so much easier way to play golf than taking an open face and trying to close it. So much easier. I would rather take an open face and pull across. I would rather take an open face, so I'm going to open face like this, pull across like that, and then try to fade it back to the target. I'll be curious to see what the path of this golf club was when I swung this one. So let's look at this. So this one here, this is perfect. That one here is 6.6 degrees out to in. The ball started to the left about 5 degrees. So it's reasonable to assume that my club face is about 2 degrees open. 6.6, 4.8. It's about 2 degrees open to that path. So I took an open face, I kept it open, I just pulled the path over to the left-hand side, and the ball then started to the left 4.8 degrees, and it spun over to the right. I would rather play that way because what I want you to do is I want you to understand how to work your path around your face. I don't want you twisting that face while the thing is in motion. What I want you to feel is a quiet face, an active body. So if I take a really strong grip, call it closed, I'm going to take that thing and I'm going to make sure that that face doesn't close anymore. So I come through there, a lot of rotation, and what I get out of that shot is a very, very straight shot. Didn't try to swing hard at it, but let's look at the trace of this shot. That is a closed face that I did not let close. I actually opened it in the swing. I took a closed face and opened it in the swing. And this is the modern golf swing. This is the modern golf swing. Take the face, close it, and then keep it from closing. It sounds crazy, but that's how you do it. So you get this a little stronger, club face is closed, and now when you come through, you're going to rotate, work under, and look at that shot. That's a closed face fade. Why is it closed face? It's only closed face because I gripped it closed face. That's why. I opened it through the swing. And the way I opened it was I rotated my body and didn't rotate the shaft. I didn't spin the shaft. What I did was I rotated my body, active body, face awareness. So what I want you to do is I want you to have facial recognition. I want you to experiment with the face. Open it, close it. See what happens when you grip it in certain positions. And then try to figure out how to make it work. And what you're going to find as you do this is your impact point's going to get a whole lot better when you take the spinning out of the shaft. It's going to get a whole lot better. It's going to be more in the center of the face. It's going to be more predictable in its launch angle. It's going to be more predictable in its spin rate. It's going to be more predictable in its apex. It's going to be more predictable in its carry distance. It's going to be more predictable in everything, and the predictability is going to be good. Once you start trying to, air quotes, release and spin the shaft, there's no predictability, there's no consistency, there's no trust, and ultimately, there's no low scores. So understand the face, get some facial recognition, and I'm telling you, you're going to play better. To improve all parts of your game, subscribe to my channel and click the link below.